How's it going, everybody? And welcome to another edition of the Soccer Report podcast. I'm your host, Dante De Thomasis, alongside my co-hosts, Niko and Tony, the new and improved Tony. But first...
Tony 2.0.
But first, we'd like to thank our sponsors, Cataldi Fresh Market. Check them out, guys. They got two locations, one at Islington and Highway 7, and their new upcoming location. As you can see, it's almost there. The windows are up. It's almost there. The garden center's open. Akil and Lawrence. Check them out, guys, for the freshest of the freshest produce. The bakery is incredible. The hot table is ramped up. Looks absolutely spectacular. New dishes galore. So check them out. It's absolutely incredible. Check out Cataldi. And guys, here we are. TFC is on in the background right now.
I was going to say, if you see me glancing over to my side, it's because they're just about to get to halftime of the TFC New England Revolution game.
Exactly. Akinola just buried a beauty.
Ooh, bagged a beauty. Took the man down. He took his lunch. He threw him on the ground, and he said, oh, wait, I'm going to score the goal too. And the coach on the sidelines going crazy looking for a foul. Give me a break. Nobody's dropping the beast Akinola.
Exactly.
Looking like a young Josie Altidore out there.
Exactly what he's looking like, and that's exactly what we need is a young Josie Altidore.
Literally.
What we don't need is an old Josie Altidore, which is a big problem right now for Greg Vanney and TFC.
So, guys, let's move into TFC's past few games here. They look great so far. We've come back.
Yeah.
What do you think, Niko?
Two comebacks the last two games, Philly, Columbus. Of course, it's never good to go down early. You don't like going down early, but this team has shown resilience. Of course, everyone knows Toronto FC is the team that falls apart within the last 15 minutes of a game with a lead, right? So it's been nice to come back from being down to win games and not being up 2-0, 2-1, and then throwing away and getting a tie or a loss in the last few minutes, right? So that's been a nice change of pace. I've been impressed with this team. Of course, tonight, Simon starting in the middle over Gonzalez because I think it's over Gonzalez, not Mavinga, right?
Yes.
Because Greg Vanney loves to give me a heart attack.
It could be worse. Could be Sovioa.
It could be worse. It could very well be worse.
Could be the nephew, Niko.
It could be much worse. But this team has been looking good. They're looking poised for a nice run. I know they've had Altidore in the games playing a two-striker system with with Akinola. I don't know how much that could be sustainable, especially since he got hurt in the last game. As you can see now, Akinola's playing the sole striker role for this game. I do think maybe we're one player, and whether it's a player we already have stepping up or something, but I do feel like we're one piece away from actually being a legitimate contender for the MLS Cup this year. And I think that player has to play either defensive mid or a striker. One of those two we have to fill in. Because if we're only playing one striker, we need our other mids to go forward and score, which means our defense is going to be opened up, which is why we need a defensive midfielder. And that could be Michael Bradley coming back. That could be Liam Fraser stepping up. But Vanney's not giving Fraser a chance. Hopefully Michael Bradley can come back sooner than later and be his old self, but we'll see. What do you guys think?
Cole, what do you think?
For me, it's been, the TFC's look like the champion team contender that they are. They've dominated most of these games despite going down early. They still control possession and everything. For what Niko said, missing player, I feel like it's Bradley. Osorio and Delgado have been doing well, but in reality, Bradley controls that team very well. He's that leader, and I feel like if he can come back healthy, I don't see too many teams beating Toronto FC in the playoffs.
It's true, Tony. I got to agree with you on this one. And as we all know, guys, we're at the top of the Eastern Conference. So we do have some stability right now. We're racking up those 3 points. We're racking up wins. They're playing solid, great defense. So we'll see. They got to keep it up.
We're second. We're second in the East. Not first. Second.
Oh, okay.
1 point back.
Okay. Well, we'll see. Maybe tonight?
Maybe tonight. Listen, we get that win. Next Columbus game, tie or loss, we're there.
Maybe I spoke too soon.
We're there. Don't worry. That's my thing too. Is the MLS Cup the goal this year? Obviously, it's the goal every year. But if we don't win the MLS Cup this year, is it a successful season?
I don't know. I don't know, to be honest.
Because we blew the tournament.
Yeah.
We blew the MLS's back cup, the tournament.
Right.
Now we're going for the MLS Cup. Like Tony said, we look like a contender. If we don't win, or at least make the finals.
We got lucky with CONCACAF.
Yep. Or if we, at least if we don't win or make the finals, is it a successful year? I say yes if we win the Supporters' Shield, which is why now they got to go hard in these games and pass Columbus and the team in the West to win that Supporters' Shield championship.
I think the fact that they're not playing at home if they can make a deep run, that's success. Because everyone else, maybe by the time the playoffs come, I doubt it, but there could be fans.
Yeah.
It'll make a difference playing away from home, right? To go that far. So.
That's a fair point. I mean, they are in Connecticut right now, Hartford. So
Well, like you said too, we got lucky in Concacaf. I think the last episode we had was right before Vancouver was supposed to play, and we all were doom and gloom because we thought Vancouver was going to get killed by Montreal.
I was positive.
Hey, Vancouver! Shout out to Vancouver Whitecaps for beating those Montreal Impact boys. So now we go ahead and we make it to the finals of the Canadian Championship.
Miracle.
So thank you, Vancouver. It's funny. I don't know if you're a real TFC fan, you know who Ryan Anderson is on Twitter. He actually bought a Hassal jersey from the Vancouver Whitecaps because they beat Montreal. He said he would do it before the game. They won. He bought the jersey, showed it off on his Twitter. Shout out Ryan Anderson.
That's awesome.
Hey, listen, you know what?
Awesome.
They got us the win, and that was huge. But I mean, how good for TFC has the new kid Liam Gallagher looked?
Oh my God!
Amazing.
Like his
We gotta
pass
talk
to set
about
up
him,
to set up the goal for Akinola.
Oh my
It was
goodness.
Akinola that he set up,
Yeah.
right?
Gorgeous
In the game
header.
against Philadelphia. Wow, what a pass! Perfect pass.
Right on his head.
Listen, I love Justin Morrow. Justin Morrow is a Toronto FC legend that doesn't get enough credit as he does, like the likes of Altidore, like the likes of Giovinco, like the likes of Victor Vasquez, because he's a defender. But he's been one of the most solid players in Toronto FC history, and was there really at the turn when they turned from being one of the worst laughingstocks in the league to one of the best
right.
teams in the league.
That's
He
right.
was that guy that's been there for this run with us, and he doesn't get enough credit. However, he's getting older, he's getting slower, and this Liam Gallagher kid, my God, he's making me not miss Justin Morrow out there at all.
No, he's a beast. He's a beast. And I got to say, I mean, Liverpool product looks fantastic. Maybe he's got that Stephen Caldwell Scottish blood in him as well.
Let's hope he doesn't play like it.
Yeah. I mean, he isn't right now. So, but he looks fantastic out there. I'm so excited for this. We got all these young, hungry players right now. It's a new rebuild. It's like a youth movement, really.
Yeah.
In Toronto right now. I'm very excited.
I'm excited if Julian Dunn comes back into the squad, if he can find his way as a center back along Mavinga. To have a back line, if we can get two solid center backs to be paired with Gallagher and Larea on the flanks.
Well, Rocco Romeo's in Copenhagen right now.
You know, we have actually quite a few players being loaned
Exactly.
out. We just need one of them to hit.
A lot of experience.
We got a lot of lottery picks out here right now.
Literally.
All we need to win is on one.
Yeah, I agree.
So fingers crossed that we get lucky on one. But TFC's looking good. I think they're going into halftime now, up 1-0 against a team we notoriously never play good against, in New England
That's
especially.
true. Yep.
We never play well against the Revolution, so we're up 1-0. Let's hope they can keep that going. And we talked about winning Champions League,
Yep.
which leads us to the finals of Champions
Exactly.
League. Against who? The CPL champions. Forge FC, which I called at the beginning, and then I went back
you
on
did.
my pick and took Pacific. I don't know why I did it. But shout out Forge FC. Tony, I know you watched the game live. I had to catch it later on, but
It was a good game. Forge, you could see they were a better team over Halifax. Despite the blunder at the end with Halifax's goalie, if it wasn't for him, that game would have been 6-7-0. Moba Bully and Kyle Becker were just playing fantastic. And Forge, they are the top of the class in CPL easy.
I agree with you, Tony. I agree with you, and I'm really looking forward to that game, Forge TFC. It's a Battle of Ontario, baby. I mean, let's be quite honest here. It's the Battle of Ontario, guys. So could this be a rivalry in the making, you think, Niko?
no.
Hey, they might meet. They might meet every time.
Listen, I'm only saying no because I can't see them playing more than once. Like, yeah, okay, maybe, but this is a weird year where CPL team was definitely making the finals, right? In a normal year, odds are it would be two MLS teams in the finals.
Yeah.
Shout out to ex-TFC player Mo Babuli, like Tony said. I think he won player of the game in the finals.
He did
which
look great.
He signed like 2 weeks before the tournament started, so
Literally,
went in, made some noise there. I mean, there's a bunch of ex-TFC guys on that team that'll be playing us. So it's going to be cool to see. Also, shout out Kwame Awua on Forge for winning another title with them. He's a friend of the show. It's interesting because when is the game going to be played?
Hasn't been determined yet.
It's true.
Exactly, but you got to do it before CONCACAF.
League.
That's right, yeah.
But even without that, let's say they can't do it now because Toronto's in the States.
Yeah.
Forge wants the game to happen as soon as possible, obviously, because they still got their guys ready to go. But realistically, I can't see this game happening until maybe January or February next year. And who the hell wants to play a soccer game in Hamilton or Toronto in January or February of next year?
But another thing, too, I mean, that's another thing, too. I mean, TFC's in Connecticut right now. They're outside of the country, so I was going to ask, where do you think this game might be? But you think it's got to be in Canada.
I honestly, if it was up to me, it'd be in Connecticut. Forge is doing nothing right now. Their season's done. fly them out to Connecticut, have them do the 14-day quarantine, and then boom, you play TFC after this next little run of games that they have is done. I think they have a little break in between that. Have them fly down now, have them quarantine till the time's done, and then put a game in Connecticut. Why does it matter where it's played if there's no fans?
Especially this year, it doesn't matter. Just play the game. Yeah.
Just get the game over and done with, and I think that's the easiest way to do it because no one wants to play in Ontario in January or February.
That's true. Another thing I'm looking forward to too is Kwame's on the left side. Richie's on the right side.
I know.
So they might be clashing. You know,
they're buddy. I mean, we had them both on at the same time.
These guys have been playing together since youth. Okay, so this is like we're talking like 7-8 years old. They've known each other for. So
those two.
That's an interesting.
Those two guys will be an interesting matchup. Kyle Becker and Jonathan Osorio will be another interesting matchup because they both came to TFC around the same time.
That's right.
They both joined around the same time. Osorio proved he could stay. Becker had a few years, and then he was shipped out to Montreal, and then he kind of stumbled around until he found his way on Forge. Funny story about Kyle Becker. At an OVO Fest, I ran into him in the subway. Didn't even recognize him for a few seconds. Me and Tony, we ran into him. Didn't even realize at first. Then we found out it was Kyle Becker. But yeah, so we got these guys coming in. It's going to be an interesting game. If TFC loses, it's a joke. I mean, not to downplay anything Forge has done. They're a really great team, but TFC looks like they're one of the best teams in all of the MLS. They shouldn't worry about a Canadian Premier League team yet. And again, that's not a shot at Forge. They're a very good team. I just don't think they're at the same level as TFC.
I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think, though, this game. I know, Nico, you might be a little skeptical here, but Forge, when they come out to play, you know, they can play defensively, guys. They have a great organized structure there. The defenses look great throughout that whole tournament. I mean, TFC, obviously, they have some holes on defense. So if they get caught with a Babuli, goal here and there, you never know.
No, you're right. It's one game. Anything can happen.
Exactly.
You're not wrong. If anything has taught us anything for that week, especially like what we're talking about in the future with Liverpool and Aston Villa, if anything has taught us anything, it's that anything can happen in a game. But with that being said, Forge shouldn't even cause TFC any problems at all. They shouldn't. Especially if the game doesn't happen until December, January, because by then, Forge haven't played together for almost 4 or 5 months, and TFC is playing all the way up into December, hopefully, if they make it to the MLS Cup. So they'll be ready to go. It shouldn't be a close game.
Do you think TFC Forge has a shot in this one?
I can see it maybe being 2-0 for TFC, but I don't see it being much of a competitive game.
Is it an audition for some players on Forge?
Absolutely.
A lot of CPL players.
I think if Forge wins, CPL is automatically on the map.
100%.
Automatically.
Listen,
and that's why I want that win to happen.
It'd be nice.
Because the exposure that league will have, especially with the American teams as well, it's like, oh my God, this team just beat TFC with all their players. Yeah. Like, that would be crazy, guys. That's like Buster Douglas beating Mike Tyson. Yes, I'm bringing that analogy out there because that's probably the closest thing I could possibly think of.
Yeah, no, I like it. I hope Forge wins too because 2 reasons. 1, like you said, it puts CPL on the map. 2, Greg Vanny can't handle 2 tournaments at the same time, and I really don't want Toronto throwing away the league next year to play in CONCACAF Champions League. Yeah. I don't. So you know what? I do hope Forge wins. It would definitely put them on the map. There's a lot of players on Forge that, in my opinion, could be MLS starters.
100%.
Kyle Becker, Kwame Awuah,
that's right.
Even Chris Nanko could be a solid player in MLS
very
as well.
Quick.
Their goalie Tristan Henry again. These guys are good players, but they're not just playing the Vancouver Whitecaps. They're playing Toronto FC, which is one of the best teams in the league.
That's right.
That's just my opinion.
North America, yeah. I mean, CONCACAF, we made a run there.
That's what I'm saying. We're a good team. We're not just your run-of-the-mill MLS team. Forge shouldn't cause them problems. If they do, then Toronto really needs to look at themselves.
Yeah, especially the defense.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We know that's coming, though.
So, Nico, let's move on here. Let's talk about some transfers that happened recently. A lot's been going on right now.
Yeah, a lot of crazy transfers over across the pond, in England, Italy. I mean, there's been some really great transfers since the last time we spoke. My biggest one that I think will have the biggest impact in the EPL season is Bayern Munich selling Thiago Alcantara to Liverpool. Liverpool, which was the best team in the EPL by far last year, got, in my opinion, one of the best midfielders in the world. Mm-hmm. And him to be on that team, in his first game, he only played 1 half and already broke the record for most passes completed in 1 half in the EPL. Like, the guy's money.
Wow.
Like, the guy does not miss. He's so good. And before people start throwing the 7-2, we'll talk about that later, he wasn't on the field for that game. He had a COVID issue. He wasn't playing.
Right.
If he was, it would have been a different story, let me tell you, because that guy is amazing.
Well, him and Fabinho, that could be very good. 2 Brazilians. or excuse me, he's Spanish.
Yeah.
But just that chemistry that they can build.
No, it's
very interesting.
they're gonna be scary.
Tony, what do you think?
Thiago's been great, but I think it's James Rodriguez on Everton.
Oh
I
my
know we
God,
spoke
what a
about last
signing.
time, but,
On a
his
free
games,
transfer.
his game against Brighton
What
on
a
the weekend
steal
was
for Everton.
amazing.
2 goals and an assist. Both
Right.
goals exactly the same too, in the same spot.
And they're 7 games in a row undefeated to start the year.
Incredible.
Competitions. I mean, Everton's looking really good.
Is Ancelotti onto something, you think?
He is. I don't know what that team's doing right now, but they're looking like legit contenders. I said it in the last podcast. They were my team to watch this year because they're looking like legit contenders for a top 4 spot. James Rodriguez has been outstanding. Allen has been outstanding. Andre Gomez, who's on their wing as well, who's there last year, he's been playing really good. And Calvert-Lewin has been out of this world in as a striker, putting in goals. They've impressed me so much. They're undefeated. And is James Rodriguez on a free transfer one of the best signings ever in the EPL? Look at Chelsea. How much money they spent on Timo Werner.
Literally.
all of these guys, Kai
Hundreds
Havertz,
of
all of
millions.
these guys, hundreds of millions. And then Everton brings in James Rodriguez free, and he looks like one of the best players so far this year.
That's probably the best move economically, figuratively, everything.
Yeah.
I mean, considering that this guy was on the bench at Real Madrid, and finally he has an opportunity to shine. I'm really happy for him. Because with Madrid, there's so many egos, there's so many different players there.
It's Zidane too, his coaching style. He likes you, you play. He doesn't like you, don't play. Look at Gareth Bale, look at James Rodriguez. These guys are talent and walk on to any starting 11 on any team in the world,
smash goals.
and he benches them.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Obviously, he's onto something. He's won multiple Champions Leagues, but it's a little weird to me.
I gotta agree with you.
So there you go. We got some little transfers in England. Shall we move over to your home countries of Italy and the Serie A?
Let's talk a little bit about Juventus right now. Now, this game that was supposed to happen with Juventus and Napoli, I don't know what a mess, guys.
The league really.
This is a disaster for the league.
Messed that one up.
I don't even know what's happening. Like, you had everyone the day before saying Napoli's not traveling to Turin to play the game. And then the day of, you got Juventus' social media team putting out the starting lineup, having pictures showing everyone showing up to the stadium. What the hell's going on?
From what I understood from the Italian news I watched sometimes, was that Napoli was okay by the league to play, but when they got to the airport, government officials told Napoli, you're not flying.
Wow.
So I think government officials trump anything the league says.
Oh, for sure.
But for some reason, the league didn't give any answer.
Yeah, we haven't got an update.
So
no
was it
clarity.
a forfeit
From what
officially?
I understand, it's still postponed. There's no answer.
That's
So they
right.
haven't forfeited yet?
No.
Because I heard it was a 3-0 forfeit.
By Serie A rules, it does state your forfeit does make sense. However, as Tony alluded to, it's still technically a postponement.
Because the government.
And now all of a sudden, here comes the courts.
Can I just talk about how crazy it'll be if a match goes to the courts?
What a
waste of taxpayers' money. The league. If he was, that's bad too. But think about it. I don't know how Italy works. Do the taxpayers pay for the court system and everything like that? I don't know how it works.
To be honest,
but
the government pays for everything.
No matter what, how big of a scam will it be if you got 2 teams arguing in courts, wasting judges' money and all their time and stuff just to say, hey, I want to play this game again?
I know.
How ridiculous is that? Let them play the game and let it go.
Honestly,
you can reschedule a game. It's
that's
not
right.
hard.
I could understand if Napoli showed up with lying about the COVID, like say they didn't say
that's
anything.
different.
Well, I did hear the person at fault for all of this is the owner of Napoli.
probably.
I heard he had COVID, didn't tell anyone, went around the whole team shaking hands, no mask, and was talking to everyone.
Wow.
I heard and that's why the league was upset, because of what Napoli's owner was doing. So that's why I heard the culprit of it. If that's the case, then you know what?
The forfeit makes sense.
The forfeit makes sense.
Yeah, because there's been a lot of teams where they've played anyway. Like the game against Genoa and Napoli the week before.
Exactly.
Genoa had 4 COVID cases.
Literally,
and they still played the game. So I mean, if you're gonna do that, you gotta do that for everybody or nobody at all.
Yeah, be
That's the
consistent.
thing. Either you
That's
gotta
right.
pick one or the other.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
That's
Well,
right.
it's a bad situation. But
it's a really unfortunate dark spot on what's been a bright start to the league.
yeah.
Yeah, and
It
some
was a
new
good
teams,
start.
rising guys, like coming out of nowhere. They're on fire right now. Sassuolo's a name to bring up here. Benevento is up there too.
Inter Milan's looked good.
Yeah.
AC Milan has looked really good. Ibrahimovic still can score goals apparently. Surely the MLS, he wasn't too washed for that if he can still come into the Serie A and score
Literally.
goals. So, I mean,
crazy.
it's been a great start to both Italy and England.
Yeah.
The EPL's had a great first few weeks. Unfortunately, some of my teams have been taking a thumping, like Wolverhampton and Man U.
Oh my
6-1 to Tottenham.
What the heck? Right after that red card, Niko, it's like, okay, throw in the towel. Here we go.
I don't know if you guys have been watching on Amazon Prime the series around Tottenham. They followed Tottenham last season when Mourinho took over. It's a great series. I recommend everyone to watch it. If you like soccer, it's fantastic, especially seeing Jose Mourinho. How happy is Jose Mourinho beating Man U 6-1? He's got to be the happiest kid in the world. He's like a fat kid in a chocolate factory right now after that
That's
victory.
the scoop, baby.
Seriously, like he beating them 6-1 and the way they did it too, just effortlessly.
Yeah.
It was such a shocking defeat that I wouldn't have been surprised if they fired their coach on the spot. How do you lose 6-1 in the EPL
Still
with top 4 aspirations?
It's crazy.
Come on. And it was so bad, but not quite as bad as defending champions Liverpool.
An hour later.
Yeah.
Losing 7-2 to Aston Villa.
What the heck happened there, guys? That is like indescribable. I don't even know how to describe it.
My God. I mean, yeah, okay.
Ollie Watkins looks like a superstar.
Yeah, apparently they had Cristiano Ronaldo playing for them and Lionel Messi on the same side. You know what I mean?
He
Like,
looks like Messi out there.
crazy.
Adrian was in net over Alisson, which clearly Liverpool has a special touch for finding real crappy goalies.
Oh
Alisson
my
is the
God.
only bright spot because if you remember in their Champions League, that blunder
Yeah.
by Corellius or whatever his name is, and now
Yeah.
they have this guy Adrian who looked god-awful.
Oh
And
my
he was the
God.
one that played against Atletico in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, in the quarterfinals
Couldn't
too.
stop a beach ball, guys. He couldn't
Dude,
stop a beach ball.
My God, he looked so bad. 7-2.
I can't believe it.
To a
And not even,
relegation battle
like,
team.
okay, Man U lost 6-1, but to Tottenham Hotspur,
At least it's
they're still
Tottenham,
one of the
yeah.
better teams in the league. These guys lost 7-2 to Aston Villa.
With Van Dijk on the field.
Like even me, when I was posting that on our podcast Instagram page,
The Soccer
I'm like,
Report podcast.
follow us on the Soccer Report podcast. It was absolutely nuts.
I
It was
couldn't
like
believe it.
it was like, yes, you are seeing this score correctly. It's like, I didn't make a mistake. Like
No. And it wasn't like
crazy.
Liverpool was benching their guys.
No.
Salah played.
Firmino.
They're signing Jota played. You have Van Dijk back there too. Everyone was there.
nuts.
And
Even Van
7-2.
Dijk, like,
Dude, it was
like,
crazy.
the best center back in the world.
We might have to
arguably.
reevaluate that. We might have to reevaluate
I
that
said it
because
from the beginning, he's not as good as everyone thinks he is.
listen, I thought he's amazing and I thought he was one of the best center backs in the world, but we might have to reevaluate after that one
you compare
game.
him to Harry Maguire, yeah. He's
Okay,
still
Harry
one of the
Maguire is the biggest bum
Man, you
in
need
the
to send him
EPL.
back to Greece. That is horrible.
I defended him so much. I say, you know what? Harry Maguire gets a bad rap because he doesn't have anyone playing beside him in another center back position. He's trying to do his best with everything. After this last game,
grabbing his
6-1,
teammate to
he
clear
threw
the ball.
his teammate on the ground, and then they put in the goal. Dude, it was so bad. Honest to God, Harry Maguire couldn't make TFC right now, and we don't have any center backs. I don't want to see him any.
and we
I
have
would rather
Zavaleta.
Eric Zavaleta starting on the
Oh
field than
my
Harry
God.
Maguire. I can't stand Harry Maguire anymore. They need to ship him out
that's
to a
horrible.
championship team in England because he does not belong
And he's the
as a
highest
center back.
paid
Yeah.
center back in the world.
One of
too.
the highest paid. And then you know what? And what does Man U do? Oh man, we really need defense. Let's go sign Edinson Cavani. What the hell is that? Let's waste more money instead of a center. They did buy a defender. He's a right back in the man from Porto.
Yeah.
He looks really good. Tell us.
yeah.
He's a very good player. He's a very good attacking player.
Yeah.
Him and Wan-Bissaka on the flanks are going to be great flanks. But who's in the middle?
Nobody.
That's the hardest part.
We might as well just run 2 more forwards, so he's not going to have anything.
Yeah.
to do.
Seriously, just try and score so many
Put
goals that
Cavani out
defense
there,
doesn't
Rashford,
matter.
and Martial. He'll be good.
Seriously, man, I don't know what's going to happen because their defense is utter garbage.
Can we call Maguire a bonehead? Because his head is literally massive.
Yeah, the guy looks like a
I don't
Neanderthal.
know. Yeah,
Like
it's
his
just-
head is like
On Leicester,
huge.
he was never this bad.
No.
Leicester, he was a very quality
and
defender.
exactly, and that's why they probably won the title. Him and Conte were like glue back in the day.
Listen. Maguire was a big signing that everyone had hopes for. I've been saying this my whole life, and I know I'll get flack, especially if there's any English people watching it. English players, their defense, it doesn't work in center back. John Terry is the one exception.
Rio Ferdinand.
Rio Ferdinand's good too, but even the way he plays, he always needed Vidic, and I always
Sol
thought Vidic
Campbell.
was. I always thought Vidic was
Campbell
so
was great.
underrated in that duo. Ferdinand got all the credit because he was English. I always thought Vidic was the better player. I don't like the way they play defense. I don't know if it's a style, what it is, but
Yeah.
it's there's something about it I just don't like. John Terry, the exception. The guy's amazing. However, he did have Ricardo Carvalho, one of the best Portuguese defenders of all time, playing with him. But
Nico's
nevertheless,
a little biased.
I'm a little. Huge bias. But John Terry was amazing.
he was very good.
Other than that, there's not many English defenders that I watch them play and I think, oh yeah, I'd want that on my team. No.
Especially in modern day, like early 2000s.
Yeah.
2000s, yeah, you had a few, but now since that golden era.
And that's just center backs.
Name a decent center back.
This is center backs. I want to reiterate because the wing backs, they have some fantastic talent. Wan-Bissaka, TAA, they have some great talent on the wings. It's the center backs where, to me, England, you don't be buying them. You want to buy a good center back, buy an Italian, buy a Dutch, buy a German. All these, even Portuguese, Portuguese in the center backs. We're still using Pepe. The guy's like 65 years old and he's still got to start for us in center backs. We have nobody else. But like I'm saying, there's better places to go to than England for talent at the center back, and that's where Man U should be looking.
Well, I mean, that's it for us, guys. Stay tuned for more podcasts, guys. Follow us at the Soccer Report Podcast on Instagram, and for all our videos, watching them on YouTube at the Soccer Report Podcast. Stay tuned for all the updates, guys. We got them covered for you every 2 weeks. We're on the air. We're live in the studio here, live at Bond Sportsplex 2. Thank you again to our sponsor, Cataldi Fresh Market. Check them out, guys. They got 2 locations, Islington and Highway 7, and Keele and Lawrence. Take care. Have a good night.
Hold on. How many locations do they have?
2 locations.
Okay, 2. Okay, sorry. Didn't hear it enough. No, I'm just kidding.
Take care, guys.
See ya.